Hi everybody, JJ with Experiences with My Dog, and today we're going to be talking about two of my absolute favorite supplements to add to your dog's diet, which can really improve their overall health as well as even aspects of their behavior. And that's going to be one, raw goat's milk, and the other going to be CBD or hemp oil. The product that we're actually going to be talking about today is really novel and innovative in the perspective that it actually introduces both of these supplements together in one easy to serve option. And that's going to be this guy right here, this CannaGurt from a fantastic company that offers a really outstanding range of raw-based products based out of Oregon, and that's going to be this CannaGurt, which combines raw goat's milk and CBD oil together. So let's go ahead and take a closer look and find out a bit more about CannaGurt. So what is CannaGurt exactly? Well, it's a brand new product that's from Steve's Real Pet Food that is part of their Enhanced line. Their Enhanced line was designed and developed to essentially be a line of supplements to be a bridge, so that if you're feeding your dog, let's say a more traditional dog diet of something like highly processed kibble, or essentially some type of canned dog food, this would allow you to take foods that are essentially raw, that have higher nutritional density, have more benefits to them, right? But not necessarily have to go to the extremity of shifting over to a raw-based diet. Now, these supplements also work fantastic for people that are, of course, also feeding their dogs lightly cooked diets or raw diets, and really just looking to be able to maximize the nutrient density and the overall benefits to their dog's health when they talk about factoring what they're providing to them in their diet. Now, the Enhanced line essentially takes a core item that's really been proven, such as raw goat's milk, and then combines it together with different items. Specifically, this one, the CannaGurt, is going to be combining raw goat's milk and then also including hemp oil or CBD oil. So before getting into the CannaGurt specifically, its ingredients, its benefits, how you might want to utilize it in some other aspects, I quickly just want to touch on the company a little bit because I think it's very important. Steve's Real Pet Food is a company that's been around for over actually 20 years. They're extremely well respected amongst, I'd say, the more kind of biologically appropriate feeding community for dog owners, and they really focus on not only high quality sourcing, ethical sourcing, sustainable practices, but also I think analytical research that goes into their ingredient composition. So they're somebody that I think also focuses a lot on transparency to be able to give you a lot of insider information. You can see that reflected in the way that they engage with people on their social media channels or directly on their website. So overall, you can definitely feel confident in this company, even though you might have never heard of them before. And that's going to predominantly be because, first and foremost, they're generally only going to be available at more kind of, let's say, small animal pet shops. But overall, I would definitely say that you can feel confident with them as a company. So let's go ahead and now find out a little bit more about CannaGurt itself. So let's talk about a few reasons why you actually would want to give your dog CannaGurt, or essentially giving them raw goat's milk and giving them CBD oil. One, with raw goat's milk, it's really a proven dietary supplement, especially amongst dog feeders and people that have been feeding, I'd say, a more biologically appropriate type of food to their dogs. They find that it really helps to solidify and maximize dog gut health, which is really important in terms of strengthening the overall immunity for your dog, and that directly affects things like their ability to fight off allergies. So if you see your dog has seasonal allergies, actually transitioning to this could significantly help them because of the significant nutrient density. The fact that you have over 50 nutrients, 10 different minerals, you can see improvements in terms of their skin health, their coat health. You could see improvements to their mobility, really kind of far-reaching overall influence because you're just bringing something in that has so many immediate benefits, and plus dogs love it. It's very palatable. I've very rarely ever seen a dog that hasn't been extremely excited at drinking goat's milk, compared to sometimes other supplements which your dog might not really be that excited about. When you add that in conjunction with CBD oil, because it enhances the way that certain receptors work inside the body, it can actually improve quite a number of different aspects. So you can have things like reduction in pain for certain dogs. It can actually help to promote healing from different things, from, let's say, post-op recovery or different types of injury. You can actually have changes to actually mood and behavior for your dog, especially for dogs that sometimes might have maybe more sensitivities, or maybe they have adrenal imbalances, which can sometimes occur from different types of factors, including even like neutering or spaying your dog. So there's a lot of benefits, and the combination of also raw goat's milk with CBD oil is actually a really ideal combination, because the CBD oil will bond with the fat inside of the goat's milk, which allows for a much more immediate level of absorption. And this actually goes back to the overall absorption of goat's milk is extremely high. In fact, it's generally going to be over 70 to 80%. So the vast majority of the nutrients are going to be readily absorbed by your dog. So getting a little bit deeper into CannaGurt itself, how might you want to utilize this? Well, first and foremost, this is definitely a supplement. This is something that you would want to introduce generally pretty consistently into your dog's diet to really be able to maximize the benefits of not only the CBD oil, but also, of course, the raw goat's milk. From that perspective, I would treat it first and foremost as a supplement, so something you generally would want to add consistently to your dog's diet. That means that you could go ahead and do it as a topper or a chaser, so giving it to your dog after you've given them their primary meal, and that would be maybe every day or every couple of days. I would definitely recommend probably at least, 2 to 3 times a week would be, I think, a solid foundation to still get a good amount of benefits from it. But you could also just use it as a general treat and reward, and that's just because appetite-wise, dogs generally really enjoy raw goat's milk in terms of being something that they find extremely palatable and really kind of interesting in terms of kind of having. You could also use it actually as we're getting now into definitely the hot months of the year. If you've got a hotter environment, you're looking for a nice way to be able to cool your dog down, you could freeze these into little cubes and also either add these into your dog's meal, or again, go ahead and give them as a kind of a little treat to be able to have your dog cool down. So some of you, when you hear about CBD oil or you hear about hemp oil, you might be kind of concerned and wondering, is it something that's safe to give to my dog? Is it going to get my dog high? Should I be concerned? And the important part is essentially when you talk about hemp oil, there's 2 different portions. There's essentially the cannabinoids that are present, and then you have the THC element. The THC element is a psychoactive element, and this is something that essentially people will use for a number of different reasons. And the cannabinoids that are present are going to be the items that are essentially a non-psychoactive but can provide a number of different dietary and physical benefits. And so here you're essentially only getting essentially those cannabinoids and then getting the raw goat's milk. So you don't have to worry about having really any adverse reactions. And actually, in fact, with both of these items, I've generally seen that not only in our personal experience giving it to our dogs as well as our foster dogs, but anecdotally from the community, I've very rarely, if any, seen any type of negative side effects from either giving a dog raw goat's milk or giving them CBD oil, as opposed to, of course, some of the more aggressive different types of drugs, which while they definitely can provide benefits in certain scenarios, I definitely don't want to undersell something like certain types of dog-proven drugs. The overall adverse side effects that you have to worry about are generally not going to be present in either one of these items, and definitely not in the CannaGurt, so you can feel comfortable and safe in giving this to your dog. So before we get into the ingredients specifically, although we've talked about pretty much the key ingredients that are present in this CannaGurt, let's just quickly talk about sourcing. I think sourcing is always an important part and something I always try to cover on our reviews, or in this situation, this kind of hands-on experiential kind of detailing. And that's going to be that you've got really solid sourcing, which is really kind of the ethos for Steve's Real Pet Food. So you've got pasture-raised goats that are going to be providing to you the actual raw goat's milk, which is fantastic. And then in terms of the hemp, you don't have to worry about it being sourced. Sometimes it can be sourced from other parts of the world, whether it's going to be Canada or whether it's going to be even China, depending on different kind of scenarios. All the hemp here that's utilized is sourced from Colorado. So all the way around, this is a US-made product, and you can feel very confident in the overall sourcing. So now let's go ahead and just quickly touch on the core ingredients that we have within CannaGurt. It's pretty simple, which is of course always a big thing that we're happy to see here when we take a look at any type of product. Not necessarily saying that big ingredient lists are inherently bad, especially if they're really good ingredients, but that can add more complexity. It can, of course, be more challenging in terms of sourcing in different aspects, but here, pretty much we've got raw goat's milk, which is fantastic. We then have hemp protein, and then we also have the hemp oil or CBD oil. The hemp protein is actually another interesting choice here because it does even provide some additional value, specifically with omega-3s. You're also going to get improvements with fiber. Fiber is always something that is beneficial to be able to provide to your dog. It helps to maintain energy. It helps to improve digestive health. You add that together, like I said, with the benefits of what we've already talked about with the CBD oil and the raw goat's milk, whether it's going to be digestive based, whether it's going to be improvements to anti-inflammatory aspects, whether it's going to be like I said, the overall just supplementation from improvements in nutrients and minerals, and you've got a really solid ingredient mix that's also simple. You don't have any artificial colors, flavors, additives that are present. There's no high pressure pasteurization that's going on here, no GMO additions, so overall a very solid ingredient mix. So how do you use CannaGurt essentially? Well, it's pretty straightforward. With it coming essentially in this easy to pour container, it's pretty much just got a spore pout. You uncap it, you can pour it into a bowl. I think depending on ultimately how much you're going to be utilizing on a daily basis, one option might be better than another. If you're going to probably be giving it consistently, the pour over method, I ideally always recommend using a scale. It's probably going to be the most consistent and accurate in maximizing the amount that you're going to be giving to your dog. The actual amount of CBD oil that you get per ounce is 2.6 milligrams. So ideally you want to align that with how much you're going to be giving your dog. There is essentially a little kind of table that will give you a reference. I would generally say in most situations you probably don't want to give less than about 2 milligrams to really maximize the overall benefits. But of course you can structure this based on your results that you check with your dog. Generally, you should see results in, I'd say, about a 7 to 10 day period in most situations from feeding your dog raw goat's milk and then CBD oil. In some cases, it might take a little bit longer, maybe up to 2 weeks. I definitely would recommend that at minimum, if you make an initial purchase of this, get at least enough that'll last you about a clear month of being able to feed this to your dog, even on a daily basis, to probably be able to see the overall improvements. From then there, if you want to be able to go ahead and use it from a day in, day out perspective, or maybe kind of go every couple of days or every few days, you can go ahead and figure out how much of an improvement you see in relation to that feeding pattern. And that also will allow you to kind of make an adjustment. You might find that you might need to increase it a little bit more. Maybe going from 2 ounces to 4 ounces really helps your dog during an allergy season, or maybe it helps to manage their pain a little bit more, or certain symptoms that you see be improved upon. And in that situation, of course, you can kind of portion things out accordingly. In situations where you're probably using a little bit more, if you want to make it very easy to be able to add into their food, or like I said, freezing it and doing it in a cube form might also be beneficial. So let's quickly talk about the overall cost and kind of relative value. So you're getting 16 ounces, which is pretty much standard for most goat's milk that you're going to buy. It's going to be costing you about $15 to $20 approximately. That's going to vary a little bit because of course this is generally going to be available only from smaller pet stores, and because of that, price tends to vary a little bit more than, let's say, the standardized pricing that you would see from like national retailers. When you kind of compare that to other options in the marketplace though, I think it holds up well. You could get options from like Only Natural Pet that's available at PetSmart, and that's going to be less for 16 ounces, and that's still a very good quality, very well sourced based product. You could go, of course, on the kind of the higher end of the spectrum in terms of getting more for around the same price. Answers offers 32 ounces of their fermented goat's milk, which is outstanding. It's one of the key staples that we give our dogs, and that's going to be less than generally about $20. But you don't have the CBD, and the CBD can be very expensive actually, and it's not always easily available in terms of every place. So I think the fact that you can combine that together and you also get the improved effectiveness in absorption rates, it makes this, I think, a very solid value proposition. So you get a good quality goat's milk, you get the CBD combined together, all US sourced. I think the overall value prop is pretty solid. And if you are looking to try to maximize things, one, you could either freeze this, or two, you could also look to their freeze-dried option that is another alternative as opposed to this option, which is essentially the liquid version. Okay, so wrapping things up, we've talked about a lot of different aspects regarding this CannaGurt, and of course I think you've already probably gotten the sense here. This is something that I'm a really big fan of, and I think that a lot of you, if you're not utilizing raw goat's milk, if you haven't tried CBD oil, if you're kind of concerned about trying either one and you're looking for a really easy and effective way to try both, this is a fantastic option for you. Our dogs loved it. They had no issues in terms of the palatability. They were all super excited about having it. We're going to be giving it to them as a treat, and like I said, as a topper with their food. And overall, like I said, there's a lot of benefits that you're going to be able to have for your dog in terms of introducing not only the raw goat's milk, but the CBD oil into your dog's diet, regardless of what you're feeding your dog. So it's definitely something that you're going to want to consider. If you want more information on this product, make sure to go ahead and check out the links in the description. While you're down there, if you can go ahead and hit the like button and the subscribe button, it's really appreciated. Thank you guys for helping us reach almost now 175 subscribers. If you have any questions, comments, feedback, whatever it might be, make sure to go ahead and drop those down there below, and I'll do my best to go ahead and follow up with you guys when I can. So as always, thanks for checking out this video. Make sure to go ahead and also check us out on Instagram. Link is in the description. And with that, take care, take it easy, enjoy the rest of your day, and don't forget to give your dogs a treat from us.